Welcome to another edition of the Power Connector podcast. I'm your host, Derek Dickow, and I'm here in a special venue in Royal Oak, Michigan at the headquarters of Citizen State Bank. And often in these podcasts and these interviews, I get a chance to sit down with some incredible business leaders and people that I respect and admire, and they tell us these incredible stories of their journey and challenges that they overcome. It's not often that we sit with the president and CEO of a bank, and that's what we have the opportunity to do today. And joining me for this special episode is Dan Fischer, president and CEO of Citizen State Bank, a local bank here in Royal Oak, Michigan, but with an incredible history, explosive growth, and a tremendous and consistent golf game. Also doubles as my golf instructor. Dan, welcome to the Power Connector podcast. We've been talking about doing this for a while, and here we are today.
Yeah, no, great, Derek. It's great to be here with you. It's always good to spend time together, and these things are a lot of fun for me. I love to talk about all different types of things. I'm excited about the life that I get to lead. It's fun, and it's great to have friends like you that we get to play golf together. We do business together. We meet a lot of people and do a lot of things together, and you know get to share some interesting times.
And we've had a few interesting times in the last 4 years. You and I have met, I want to say we met like right at the beginning of COVID. So the world
Yeah.
completely shut down. You opened a bank here in this area, and that's when we first shook hands. But this bank has gone through some tremendous and explosive growth over the last 4 years in several different sectors. If you want, tell us why don't we start with what's new and exciting at the bank, and then maybe a little bit of background on the Citizen State Bank story.
Yeah. So, what's new and exciting at Citizen State Bank is a lot. We are having tons of fun here, and I kind of maybe just rewind a little bit just to give everyone a little bit of background on kind of the history of how we got to where we are, and then where we're going from here. And again, what's exciting, right? The bank was purchased in 2020, but was founded in 1910. So, one of the oldest financial institutions in the state. We're a state chartered bank. And the owner of the bank, Chris Yatuma, who's become a great friend, like family to me, purchased the bank in 2020. He's the sole shareholder, but really because he felt like there was an underserved marketplace in the Southeast Michigan market and then in the overall state. And didn't really know much about banks. Just thought it would be kind of an interesting thing to purchase a bank, and could he even do that? And he was able to get approved by the regulators and purchase the bank in Ontonagon, which is up on Lake Superior, very rural market. Used to be a fairly industrial area, but is now primarily a tourist area, like a lot of small towns that are lakefront. So anyway, I was brought on in 2020 to run the bank as the CEO. I've been doing this for almost 40 years in one form or another, and was really brought in to run the bank and to build the bank. And so we opened our headquarters down here, which is where we are today, in October of 2021. We were 60 million in assets at the time we purchased the bank, 60. And today we're 314 million in assets. So we've had tremendous growth, and we started out with 14 people. We ended up reducing staff in the original branch and hiring people down here. We're over 40 employees now, and that's really the most exciting part about what's happening to the bank. Not the asset size or our profitability, but the great people that we've been able to attract to our team, and how they're making this, I think, a really special experience for themselves as employees and team members, but also for our customers. And one of the things that I think Chris felt when he wanted to buy the bank was there was a real need for a bank to service entrepreneurs. And he himself is an entrepreneur who started his first business when he was a teenager and grew it into a very, very successful construction company that he's owned now for over 25 years. But really felt like small businesses were the salt of the earth, the root of America and the American dream, and really wanted a bank that was going to be able to service that community. And so I was all in, And that's really the way we approach banking on a day-to-day basis is, we service small businesses and we help them grow. We advise them, we support them, and they refer business to us. So we don't advertise here at Citizen State Bank for the most part. I mean, we have a website, we do social media, but for the most part, all of our business comes from referrals. And we try to make the banking experience totally different than every other bank out there. It's very personal. Everybody knows you. We answer the phone after hours, and we really enjoy our customers. We become friends with them, and it's a great experience for them, and it's a great experience for us. And we love all our customers, and we want them to have a good experience.
It's really relationship building at the highest level is what you do. And one of the things that I remember that you talked to me about in terms of your success, but also as being a relationship developer, is having reliable, consistent visibility and just being present at the right events, but also being out there in the community, supporting your clients, supporting the small business community. But you guys are everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you make time for all the right events? I mean, I understand people have calendars, but I mean, you guys are seem like you're everywhere locally.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to the kind of passion of being part of an organization that you feel is really your company, and you really get to make some of the decisions and change the trajectory of what you do every day. And so everybody works hard, and sometimes it gets a lot because being out 3 4 nights a week or being at every function, the golf outings are okay.
The golf
Those are
outings are
not
what make the
those are not too stressful, but it is a lot. It is a lot. But I think the commitment of the people on the team and the mission and the growth of the company, is obviously going to benefit them. Our people that have come to the bank, many of them have moved up in the organization and have positions of great responsibility, and great compensation comes with it. So the hard work is definitely being rewarded, but everybody's very passionate about what our value proposition is, and so we enjoy being with each other. So we usually travel in packs. There's usually 3 4 5 of us going to a function, and then we have made a lot of friends, in our business customers, and so we enjoy spending time with them as well. So it's fun. It really is. It's a lot of hard work. We put in a lot of hours, but so far the payoff has been very very good, and we're blessed. We appreciate, all of the love that we get from our customers, and we just enjoy spending time together and being here. And we have a great facility here, where you ask kind of what are some of the new and exciting things happening at CSB. We're looking at growing our presence in the market and expanding, potentially to some new facilities, because we've outgrown our space in a very short period of time. But that's one thing that we focus on, is the environment that we create for our employees, is very very positive and supportive of them. There's always snacks, there's always food, there's always things that we're doing. So we really pride ourselves on having a really nice environment for our employees, and then also our customers feel that when they come in the door, they feel at home. The dog greets them at the door, and everybody feels like this is a different experience than walking into some of the other banks that might be in the market.
man, I can attest that I'm a client and I've seen many people walk through the door and they do feel comfortable like it's their house.
Yeah,
So that's a testament to the
that they're
culture.
welcome.
Yeah,
They're
they're
welcome
welcome.
here. Yeah,
Yeah. Can you share with us a little bit about your particular style of culture, building culture, maintaining it? It's a lot more than just providing snacks and
sure.
food. But what have you found to be very successful for you in implementing your leadership strategy?
Well, that's a great question, and I'll tell you, I will share with you two very very basic leadership philosophies that I've used for 40 plus years now. My starting back to my first management role, and I've always been a person who believes in leading by example, and so I try to create a culture that is based on respect, and so I expect respect and loyalty. and that's kind of what the culture is based on. So what does that mean? That means that every person in the organization, regardless of their role, whether it's the person who answers the phones or the person who makes the loan decisions or the CFO, everyone in the organization has the same right to be here and should treat others, including our customers, with the respect that they would like to have. And I'm very, very adamant about that. So I spend a lot of time, walking around and talking to my people and getting to know them, and making them feel like I'm accessible to them. And I try really hard to lead by example. And I have respect and loyalty for them, and I expect that in return. So that's a very strong and powerful message, and I share that with people in interviews, and I make sure that I practice that. And in today's society and in today's employment market, you have to have a culture. And sometimes people say, "Well, what's your culture here?" And they'll refer to some kind of mission statement that might be on the wall that, they might have dusted off. But I mean, we really, really, focus on that. The other thing is I manage by taking people's excuses away. So, like, it's my job, it's my role as the leader of the organization to make sure that they have the tools, the environment, the support, the education, um, and the encouragement that they need to be successful at our company. And it's as much our responsibility as to make sure they have all the tools and the support that they need to be successful as it is for them to show up and give us 110%. Because we don't expect 100%, we expect
Oh,
110%.
they give you every part of the 110%.
Yeah.
You work them here.
Yeah. So if someone isn't successful in the organization, we obviously try to help them in any way that we can, but in most cases it's on them, it's not on us. And so I expect, a high level of performance from people, and I also believe that you should show people how much you appreciate them and the job they're doing and the effort that they're putting in and their commitment and their loyalty and their respect when they're doing a good job. You need to tell them often, and you need to reward them in lots of different ways. It might be some perks, it might be in an extra couple of bucks here and there. But I don't believe in annual reviews. I mean, we do them, but feedback is constant. And if someone is not, performing at the level that they need to, we're talking to them, we're coaching them, we're helping them. And they're not surprised if things don't work out at the Citizen State Bank. So it's a very intense culture that starts with work ethic. And I work very hard and I try to lead by example in that respect. And I don't really expect anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do. As an example, one of our executives, I look out the window sometimes on a sunny day, and we have like a 2 foot strip of grass on the side of the building that, we have to cut because Royal Oak wanted us to have some green space. And she might be out there, cutting the grass and blowing off the sidewalk just because she wanted to get some fresh air, and somebody had to do it. And that's indicative of the team that we have here at Citizen State Bank is everyone does whatever we need to do to get the job done for the company.
You've built a great team here, and they do a tremendous job representing the brand. You talk about rolling deep, two, three, four, five team members at events. I see it all the time. I'm amazed by it. I'd love to, if I may, ask you a little bit about either your personal commitment or even the bank's commitment to philanthropic causes. It seems like, just from my observation, you guys participate in a lot of community, a lot of charity, and a lot of give back.
Mhm.
Why is that so important to the success of the bank? Or is that a Dan Fischer edict?
It's not. First of all, I think it's smart business. I think that the community. I mean, we're a community bank, and so you're part of a community or communities, right? In our case, we're part of several communities, and we have a commitment to those communities, and we feel like those communities should support us as well. Um, but a lot of times that comes from customers. They have something they're passionate about. It's something that's important to them, and we want to support them. And that again, we get a lot of new business from our customers who like what we have to offer. And then it's important, for instance, we're the only bank headquartered in Royal Oak. So we give back to the chamber. I'm on the board, I'm on the executive committee, and we support the Chamber of Commerce in Royal Oak because we should. That's other small businesses in our community that need our help and need our support, and we should support them. We support, the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber. We support the Chaldean Chamber in a big way, and these are our customers. This is our community, and then we do a lot of other things that, whether it's the Autism Foundation or the Cancer Society, or some organizations like the local ball team and those types of things. It just you know we like most companies have to have a budget around that, but I think we're always open to helping the community and giving back. And obviously, if we're profitable and the company is performing at a high level, it allows us to give more back. And so we definitely try to do that.
I admire it. It's a lot that you do. I think you and I played in 4 or 5 different charitable golf outings
Hmm.
this summer. If I may, can I talk about golf?
Sure.
It is a relationship development tool. Obviously, you are an excellent player, so that
Thank
helps
you.
advantage your team's position. But I'd love to understand how you're able to leverage sometimes doing business and doing good in the community and having fun.
Hmm.
You seem to do that well. So
Hmm.
how have you learned to leverage and enjoy that?
Yeah, I think golf is an opportunity to spend time with people. I always say, like, if I'm not really sure about someone I want to lend money to, I'll go play golf with them. So, because people who cheat at golf basically cheat at life. And that may be, a cliche, but I've always found that, if you go out and spend 4 or 5 hours with somebody on the course, you really get to know them. You see how they manage, their own thought process and their expectations, and can they keep a sense of humor, all those types of things, their competitive juices, like all of that. You can tell an awful lot about someone, just like if you go visit in their place of business. You can look around their office and you can tell an awful lot about a person by how they decorate their office, right? So I'm sure people who could come in here would look around and see all my kids and my dogs and my books, and be able to tell an awful lot about kind of what makes me tick. I think golf is an amazing game, because it's an individual challenge. It's a competitive game. It's a thinking game. It's a game of great skill, but it also gets you out into the fresh air around a beautiful venue. And I think it's a sport that creates a lot of camaraderie without as much injury. Um, but it's something that I've loved ever since I was a young kid. When I started out caddying, was one of the jobs I had when I was a kid, and I just fell in love with the game. And it's been a great business tool, but also a source of great enjoyment. I get to play with my adult kids now, and my grandkids will have golf clubs in their hands as soon as they're old enough. So I think it's a great game, and it's an opportunity for me to build some fantastic friendships and meet a lot of new people.
And I think that our friendship became more because of golf and because
Yeah,
of those opportunities. So I'm grateful for that, and also for your coaching
yeah,
throughout the course of my development, which is a work in progress. But
yeah.
we won't touch that too much. Let's if I may, you talk about the explosive growth from 60 million in assets north of 320. You said
314.
314, so you'll be there in a couple weeks. But what does the next 12 to 24 months look like with the new headquarters coming soon? And how do you see this bank rising as a small bank into a major player in this state?
Yeah, so I think when you launch a new business in the marketplace, you have certain expectations and vision for what the bank potentially might be, but you don't really know for sure. There's lots of things that come into play, but I think if we look back now, on where we started, I really honestly didn't think we would be where we are today. And so that being said, doing more of the same is important. What's working for you, don't change that, right? Continue to do more of it. Continue to add good people to the organization. Continue to be active in the community and make good, decisions to grow your business. But I think what we've been able to do in Ontonagon, in reinvesting in the marketplace. I mean, a lot of times when you purchase a bank and in a small market like that, there's not the commitment to the community. When the larger bank buys it, we've reinvested in the community, we've grown that business, and so we like that model. So the opportunity to potentially look at other communities like Ontonagon that don't have a tremendous amount of economic stimulus and loan demand, and be able to go in there and acquire another bank, support that bank, continue to support the community that it's in, and invest and inject capital into that bank, bring new products and services to the marketplace, new technology like we did in Ontonagon, and then take those deposits and put them to work in Southeast Michigan, where this market is just fertile. There's lots of opportunity here, especially for a bank like us that's taking a different approach to the market. And if you, not to say that we don't have great banks in the market, we do. But one of the reasons I got into community banking was because I really wanted to get closer to the customer and keep the decision making and the service level down at that customer level. So that gives us a lot of advantages in trying to bring new people into the bank here. And so, we called it shoe leather marketing, and when I started out, just getting out there and, really working, the community, and taking a different approach to business, and maybe, approaching businesses and doing loans that the other banks don't want to do. Today, the larger super regional banks are looking for the big 20 to $25 million loans, and the loan officers may do 3 or 4 deals a year, and play lots of golf. Whereas we're okay with a $500,000 loan, a $200,000 loan. We want to help people, become successful, and they need capital right now. So it's an opportunity for us.
And one of the communities that you do service, which is underserved in the state of Michigan for obvious federal reasons, is the cannabis business community. 4 or 5 years ago, that industry, there really were not many safe options. And here, Citizens State Bank has emerged as the premier home for a lot of the cannabis business operators, sophisticated operations, technology, relationships, kind of like you're following the similar format. You're just servicing a new business or a new community that they, they really can't. They don't have a lot of options.
Right. Yeah, and that was, again, going back to rewind to the comments I made earlier about, the market being underserved. That was a part of the marketplace 4 years ago, that there weren't a lot of options. Certainly not access to capital. So a lot of the growth that took place at the cannabis industry was people using their own cash, and their own resources to grow their businesses and invest in their businesses. And so we're very selective in who we work with, but there are a lot of fantastic cannabis operators out there that have been very, very successful, and many of them own other types of businesses successfully, and they have chosen to invest in that business, and they brought a lot of the acumen that has made them successful in other areas to that business. And to be successful in the cannabis business, in my opinion, you have to borrow responsibly and manage your leverage. And you need to have a brand, you need to have a vision, and you need to have good people as well. And deliver a good product and service, and make good decisions. So we've done very, very well in the cannabis business because we deliver a high level of service. We understand the business. We enjoy working with the people in the business, and we've been able to offer them the opportunity to borrow money, to continue to grow their businesses. And in many cases, we've been able to help them develop some of the things that they need to on the back end, from a financial statements, tax returns, accounting, kind of what does it need? What do you need to do to borrow effectively and efficiently, and at better pricing than you would be getting from LeafLink or some of the other resources that are available out there. And then how do you, manage your relationship with your bank, both on the deposit side and on the loan side? So we've been very fortunate. We bank some of the best customers, best companies in the market, and we really do enjoy working with them. It's about 20% of our overall business, but we do get a lot of referral business from the cannabis industry. And one of the areas that we're still working on and trying to penetrate even deeper is the people that work in these cannabis companies. They need car loans, they need home loans, they need education loans. And it's very difficult to get those loans when you're getting a paycheck from a cannabis company because a lot of banks will not lend to you. And so we're trying to expand beyond the business to the employees of these companies and support them in any way that we can.
So really being a one-stop shop for all their needs and their
Yep.
customers and their people that work 80 to 90 hours a week as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. 100%.
Help me understand a little bit. You mentioned 40 years banking experience, leadership. You've had a
Hmm.
lot of people pour into you knowledge. You said everywhere you go, you observe ways to not do things,
Hmm.
but you've learned a lot of ways to do things the right way. And so, what was the one or two bits of advice that have really helped shape your leadership style?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of being very personable and approachable, and also knowledgeable, right? I think that's the key to success in sales or in building relationships with people is credibility, respect. You want people to think that you're a hard worker. And so that leading by example is some of the mentors that I've had in my life. Were great examples of that. And, I was a kid who grew up, didn't have a lot, and started working at a very young age, was very entrepreneurial, did all types of different jobs to make money. And so I developed, I think, an inherent skill to just relate to people, talk to people, and to make friends. And I think that you take that approach every day. So whether it's your customers or your fellow employees or even your competitors, it's just really kind of be approachable and be nice and be genuine and sincere. I mean, I think that's something that's missing, to a certain extent in our society. And do what you say you're going to do. Be a person of your word, and then people will respect you. And so I work hard at that, and I work hard every day, and try to help people. I mean, I think that's part of it, especially if you're fortunate enough to be successful in business and in life, and you're blessed, with talent and opportunity. Then you should help people. And you know, perfect example of that is I helped somebody yesterday. I won't go into the whole story, but was someone who's had a number of problems, unfortunate things happened to them recently in their life, and they just needed someone to help them with a loan, so they could get a new home. And it was a small loan. Typically, I don't get that involved, but it was someone who was referred to me, and I'm going to make it happen for her. And she really really appreciated it. So it's not a big loan. We're not going to make a bunch of money. There's nothing exciting about it, but I went home yesterday afternoon and I said, yeah, I really feel good about the fact that I was able to help her and made a huge difference in her life. And that's kind of what being a banker can be about. And sometimes it's not fun, but when you're able to help people, it's great.
Well, you make it look a lot of fun, the relationship part of it, the development. And I know that helping people along the way is a big bonus to what you do. You got a tremendous team behind you, and it looks like the wind is behind you on everything that you guys are doing here at the bank. And it's really been an honor to build a friendship with you, learn from you, but also to see the impact that you make, not just in business and not just in the business community, but also with the charitable component that is a big part of what you do. So it is leading by example, and you do it well. So thank
Yeah,
you for the
one
for
thing I
the
would add, Derek, before we close, because I think this is really important, at least it's been important to me, is I came up to this area 4 years ago, and I'd only been to Michigan once, believe it or not, many many years ago. And the community here, and primarily the Chaldean community here, has really welcomed me. And obviously a big part of our business, the Chaldean Chamber, some of the Chaldean business people that work with us, but really welcomed me into the community and helped me integrate. And I've made so many friends here, and that's not easy to do. To relocate to a new area, to a new city, to a new market, um, and uh, and and be able to, after 4 years, feel like, wow, this is home. I have a lot of friends here, I have people to play golf with. Um, recognize people. And It's just been really neat experience for me at this particular stage in my life to be able to do that. And I really appreciate everyone who has, kind of extended the hand, to me since I've come here. And you're one of those people as well that, it's great to make new friends.
Let me extend my hand across the table and say thank you. It's feelings mutual, my brother. Thank you very much. Well, again, this is a special edition of the Power Connector podcast, filming today at the Citizen State Bank in Royal Oak, Michigan. President and CEO Dan Fischer, ultimate relationship builder and my golf coach at the same time. And with Dan, I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, no, it's
learning
fun.
from you, and just the example that you set. It means a lot. So thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Thank you.